This is the MTPredictor weekly market update for March 1st. Let's start with the S&P here, daily chart, and we see obviously this nice rally here. We'll take a decision point resistance level off that last swing high where that automatic software generated DP was, and you can see we came right into this level. This is a level where we anticipate we may get a correction. Alright, just like we did here in this DP, just like we did here in this DP, we see the declines there. So it's in an area where we anticipate we may get a correction. The other thing I'm looking at, I like to keep an eye on the OBV, or the unbalanced volume here at the bottom. Just going to make this a little smaller here. And you can see, you want, when you're making new highs, you want volume to be following. And you can see that, we've had a higher high between these two swings, but the OBV here is continuing to decline. Right? That's not what you want to see, and it's similar. If we go back here, and these new highs back here, again you had a higher high between the swings here, but the OBV was falling, and you can see then price began to follow the volume down here. This is what you want to see when prices are moving higher. The OBV is moving higher with price. You can see it peaked out here, and that's when the market rolled over. So just something to keep an eye on. We're not seeing volume follow price up here, and we're in a resistance level. If we do look at the Dow here, the Dow, again, that buy signal here that the software generated, we've reached that target, and you can see on Friday, the red sellers candle, we have an indication that sellers were overcoming buyers on Friday in the resistance level. Alright, so you start to take out these lows here the last few days, then this may get some fall through to the downside, again due for some corrective action. Now the NQ here is the buy signal here. It's close to the target. We know the Dow and the S&P are in their resistance levels. There's still strength on the STF to the upside, so the NQ may get some more fall through to the target there, 44.68 1/4. We shall see. Unfortunately, this was a nice trade, but unfortunately I got stopped out on the pullback to break even here as I moved the stop at the 100% initial risk line to break even. That happens. And but if you had your original stop there at 40.71.25, it never hit that, and you're close to the target there. In fact, you could be trailing with a trailing stop at this point, since the STF is showing strength to the upside. So worst case here, 3.7 times the initial risk. Just want to take a peek too at the this is the FTSE. And the FTSE also just hit its DP resistance level here. Let's look at the DAX. Again, we may see the European markets outperform the U.S. markets this year, as the European Central Bank is set to start the QE this month. You can see this is the DAX. Look at the DAX. It just blew through. This is the DP off of that prior swing high there. Before we get that correction there, you can see it's just blown through, and we've got strength on the STF, so the oscillator is into the gray band, the strength band at the top. That's indicating there's more upside ahead. In fact, back here you can see the oscillator reached that strength band here, indicating at this point that there was going to be more upside. We certainly see that. I mean, look at the strength here. This is the weekly chart here. If we look at the daily chart, I just wanted to point out here, you can see there's the weekly resistance that we've just blown through, but we also have unfolded here in a 5-wave pattern. We've reached the minimum wave 5 target. Here's a typical wave 5 target, right around 11,600, a nice round number there. So we'll see. It could correct from here. The tendency is we'll get a correction back to the wave 4 DP, this level here. But this is typically where wave 5 would unfold. In other words, we should see more upside here before we get a correction. But we'll see, since the U.S. markets have come, at least 2 out of the 3 have come into some resistance here. And the other thing we want to look at is the Dow transports. All right, here's the Dow transportation average. Now, typically, if the market is going to make new highs, this will usually lead that stocks higher. But this is not yet confirmed, the new highs in stocks. You can see it's actually Dow Transports has been falling off the last few days here, but it's made a lower, so far a lower high. In fact, the last couple of highs have been lower highs here. This did take out this last swing, but it hasn't been able to make a new high yet, so it's going to have to get above this 9,300. So again, something to watch as far as, like, if you watch Dow theory, this needs to confirm. All right, let's look at the bonds. Look at the 10-year bonds here. The 30-year bond, there's a bad print on that, and it's messing up the chart. So we'll just take a decision point off of the last major swing high here, and you can see that the 10-year has hit this resistance level and has come off that level. Some strength on the STF to the downside, so we're going to have to watch this pullback. If it's shallow and we start to see bond prices begin to come down here and interest rates move higher, that's the thing that we've been watching in the 30-year bond. Again, maybe a sign the bond market is saying is if this downward move continues, that we may be seeing or headed for more of an inflationary picture than a deflationary picture. So again, something to keep an eye on. Top over to gold. Well, we'll stop at oil here. Well, I've got that up. So oil, again, the big sell-off there was a little 5-wave pattern here. Hit the DP support, and that's where the rally began. Hit the DP off the wave 4 here, and that's the target for this particular trade, and that's what's really held things up in this level here. So oil still kind of consolidating around in here. We'll see if it is able to pretty much in and around this little channel in here that it's trading in. This will break one way or the other. It's testing the downside support there. We'll see if it does break, then we'll get a retest probably of the lows there. So again, something to watch there. And then I guess the last thing we'll take a look at maybe here is gold, and we'll see if gold can hold. Again, we had this 5-wave pattern down into the larger weekly support here. This is where we would anticipate we get a rally again back to the wave 4 DP, which was completed here. And then this tells us if this holds as resistance, then the trend which was down prior should continue down. Well, we've seen that. We hit basically this 1200 level, 1198, 1200 area, which is kind of that bull. I drew the line here. It's kind of that bull bear line. So above 1200 will be bullish for gold. We get back below it, that will be bearish and maybe a retest of the lows. Alright, so we'll see which way this thing begins to point. Again, watch the bonds. If bonds are pointing to higher inflation in the future, then we may see gold and silver pick up. If not, then these may retest the lows. So, alright, we'll wrap it up here. We'll be back next week. Just in terms of economic data this week, we've got a full week of data starting right out on Monday. Monday is a fairly heavy news day or economic data day for a Monday there, all the way through Friday. So should be a decent week of trading. All right, take care. We'll see you back next week.